Good morning, and welcome to a warm Winnipeg. I think we set a record yesterday. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that we set a record for the hottest day, at least for this time of year. It went up to 37 yesterday, 37 point something on my thermometer. And I checked the weather this morning online, and it said we officially went to 37 yesterday. So, yeah, that could be a record breaker. Yeah, global warming, right? I've noticed that we're getting birds coming to our bird feeder more regularly, and the sunrise this morning. Well, how could I describe it? I would call it ominous, threatening. Yeah, it was interesting. I sped it up 200 times here, and it kind of has a nice ending. And in the ending, I actually slowed it down the opposite way, not 200 times, but about a tenth speed. So yeah, and you'll see what I'm talking about when we get to the end here in a second. Anyway. Enough about the weather and so on. We did get our friend Paul, military modeler Paul, I think he calls himself. He sent us a picture. He emailed us a picture yesterday, and it shows pretty clearly these vents around the outside. Like Paul is doing the Nelson, which is almost identical to this, and I would imagine that in all likelihood the Nelson has the same vent set up. So what I've decided to do here is that because the manual has these vents perpendicular to the deck, not leaning back against the base of the turret or the barbette or what is it. I think this would be called the turret base, and it becomes a barbette after it goes below the deck. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna have them out from the base, even though it looks kind of funny, it's like, why would it be like that? Wouldn't it be attached? But apparently they weren't attached. Yeah, they were just sort of up against it, and I guess the air would go in the top there and then down under the deck somewhere. And I think, and they just happened to put them there. It's kind of odd. I had always thought until this morning that those were ventilators that would, take the air out of the turret area and or put it, or maybe. See, what would it be doing? Would it be taking it out? That doesn't make sense either. So I guess I guess it just happened. Those are like mushroom vents, only they're not mushroom shaped. They're just to ventilate the lower decks. Because I can well imagine it did get awful hot down there. What with all that machinery running and the boilers and all the rest of it, it must have taken quite a bit of ventilation. It's like what was it? The fourth funnel on the Titanic was just for ventilation. It wasn't for smoke. Anyway, I think I've rambled on long enough. There is no rollback. I did not come back to the model table because I couldn't make up my mind what to do. Because the next thing to do is to glue these down. So let's just sort of recompose here and. We should be able to very quickly glue these down, you would think. But things never go as planned, do they? Okay. Now I guess I'm going to have to make a bit of a retraction here, and the reason being is because when I went to take this file that I just took out of the camera, and I see that there's another one still in there, and I'm thinking, well, what is this now? And when I viewed it, I remembered, oh yeah, I did start a rollback yesterday, and then it just sort of dwindled out and came to nothing. Anyway, may as well look at it. So let's roll back. I am still undecided about what to do about these vents. I'm thinking now that there's the possibility that they never were attached to the upper part of these barbettes or turret bases. That they went around it, but maybe all they did was suck in the air that was, you might say, trapped in between the two, and they just used the turret base as sort of a, I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me that they were all around the turret base like that. Were they some sort of cooling vents for maybe the ammunition and everything that was way down inside? I don't know. Anyway, let's get another one here. Okay, C16 is the closest one on my side. And that is this one right here. I'll just move you in a little bit here. Okay. Now, if I have it standing perpendicular to the deck, it looks more like the drawings that you have of the that you see. It also looks like some sort of photographs that I found, at least one, that indicates that there was nothing in between the vent and the turret. It just sort of stood there. Like I say, it just doesn't make any sense. So I'm thinking that maybe being is that, well, I just don't know. I can't make up my mind. Would it look better if they were sloped in like that and actually, touching would it look more believable? Or I just don't know what to do here, because like I mentioned at the end of yesterday's episode, once it's done, it's done. That's the way it's going to stay. But is anybody going to notice either way? You know what I mean? Anyway, that's my dilemma this afternoon. Yeah. So I'm thinking to myself here, why is it that I couldn't remember that I had started a rollback yesterday? And this is sort of my excuse. What will often happen, and what I think happened yesterday, was I thought about starting a rollback, and I thought about it so much and how I was going to do it, and then something happened. Well, what happened was my son came over because it was Father's Day, and we had a nice visit. And then when I came back to the place where I could continue on with the rollback, stuff was happening, and I just didn't do it. And I normally, what will happen is I will think that I have taken a shot when I haven't, because I have thought about it so much. Whereas yesterday it was the complete opposite. I had taken the shot, but I hadn't done it. Does that make sense? Well, it kind of does to me. Anyway, what I want to do here is, I was noticing yesterday that this vent here, it wasn't plugging into the hole very good. I think I'm going to have to just chamfer or camfer the edges so it'll plug down into the hole. Okay, we'll move you in here nice and close, and we'll see if we can get these in. I think there's only about 6 of them, maybe 8 altogether, including the pipes that have to go into the holes. Yeah, we'll move in and get this done. I sure hope that this sort of thing is not going to become the new normal. In other words, that I can't remember what I videoed. That would not be a good thing. Okay. Okay, I think it's okay this way. It's just this way here. It seems to be just a little bit. I might be able to force it in, but it's just very, very gently here. Just take the corner off. Alright, let's see if that's going to fit now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I put a little bit of extra thin down in that slot. Where's my extra thin here? Okay, I do believe that is seated. Just let me check the monitor. That seems to be leaning a little bit, doesn't it? Doesn't. Whoops. No, it's down. It just doesn't look square in the monitor, but it is actually perpendicular to the deck here. Okay, and it does appear to be out from the side here equally all the way along. It might be leaning back just slightly. Well, let's just leave it here. Okay, the next one are the H-28s. I'm just doing a dry run here. Yeah, that's going to be all right. Now, very gently. Now, when that turns into sprue goo and evaporates, it's going to be, oh, I think I put a little bit too much in that one, didn't I? Okay, how do these look here? Let me get myself at a different perspective here. Okay, I want them to be. Now here's a case of the barbette, or the side of the barbette here angles in a little bit, just very, very slightly. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to have it so that it is parallel, that the back of this is the same distance at the bottom as it is at the top. And eyeballing it like this, it does appear to be. Does this one look crooked? No, I think it's okay. All right, now there's going to have to be a little pipe or something go right there. Let me check the monitor. Can you still see that? Just barely. I'll recompose here. Okay, so we're on step 13, right? And 13 does not show anything being put into this hole, but it does look like it's the same size hole as for a mushroom vent. And the next ones are the H-27s. And once again, I'm just doing a dry run here. This one, let's see, does it look like it's going to fit there, or is it Maybe got to be narrowed down just a little touch here. I'll do it off camera. Okay, let's try that. I think it's going to go down there. Or should I narrow it some more yet? Well, I think what we're going to have to do is rely on the solvent glue. Let's get some in there. It's going to enlarge the hole. Okay, does that look perpendicular? It kind of does. So let me check the monitor. You're looking straight on. Yeah, it looks pretty good. All right, now try the other one. Maybe to save some time here, I'll just camfer the corners to start with. Now I know I didn't do a dry run. Oh, I bumped the other one. Okay, I think once that evaporates, it's going to be a very strong connection. Doesn't mean I can't break it out if I'm not careful. All right, now we got a couple more here left to go. Okay, the next one in line is the C32, and I've already camfered the edges there. Yeah, that's going to be all right. And there's a little space in behind there. Not much of a space though. Maybe I should pull it out just a little bit more. Yeah, that's got it. And the last one here is the C16. Now I said something about the last one. I guess I was thinking about those square vents, but we do have a pipe that has to go in here. I think that'll go down in there once it gets some glue. It's just what I'm doing now off camera. You can't see it. I'm putting a little bit on the end of the pipe there, just to dissolve the plastic a little bit, and I'm going to just put just a very small amount in the hole. Now this was one of those pipes that we had to make sure that when we place it, we get the painted side out, because the underside when it was laying down on the tape, I do believe that's all the way down. Let's just quit poking at it there. We'll just let that meld, and it should be, once again, as I say, a very strong connection. Okay. Now, that is it for step 13. Except for this little fair lead that we were short. Otherwise, everything is down. I think we can turn the page and stick on some more little parts. You know, it's not like we're short little parts. All right. All right. Well, step 14, we already did it. That was put photo etch on some of these pieces, and where are they? Did I miss a step here? Oh no. It's just the photo etch pieces were so small I couldn't see them. They're in, don't worry. All right, so we got it. Yeah, E19. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, well, when we get the macro lens on, you'll see that there is photo etch on there. So they've already been made. So we go to step 15, and we get to put the breakwaters on. Now the anchor chain and the anchors we're going to leave for a while. I don't think I want to have anything to do with that. Yeah, I'll do the anchors and the anchor chain at the same time. And that way I can get the length of the chain just right and so on. I don't know if the anchor chain is actually going to support the anchor, if we're going to have the anchor hanging partway down, you know, as far as the boot line or something like that, or are we going to draw it right back up into the hawse pipe? I don't know. We'll see when we get to that place. But we can put on the breakwaters right now. So there's these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of breakwater. And, oh, there they are over there. Okay, well, let's recompose here. You know what? I've shot an awful lot of video already. I better go and edit this out and see what I've got. Maybe it's time to call this a day. It's almost 11:30. Well, it's not too bad. Okay, if you will remember, we had this thing on the turntable a couple of days ago, and we were looking at all these pieces. Now, I probably could turn the ship around so that it would be at the right orientation with the manual. I usually like to do that, but I think with something like this, it's going to be pretty hard to go wrong. Like this one here, it's really obvious. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta touch this up here, remember? Okay. I think what we're going to do is we are going to call it a day for today's episode. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it quits here. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I get a coffee visitor. Now, I know that isn't for a couple hours or so, but still, I'd like to be able to take my time with the final edit and go through it and make sure I haven't made any more mistakes. Yeah, so thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.